Hello. Welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey. And this journey is going to be a little bit different because we're going to do a look ahead to 2024. I've been doing these readings and every single one of them has been so effing cool. And I love the vibe that is coming through with them. So like I said, it's more of like an overview for the year. It could be energy that you're feeling now. It could be energy that you're, of course, looking forward to. So it is a 7-card spread, and I'll just kind of go through what those 7 positions are, and then I might put a key just on this side of the screen. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try it and see how it looks. And if it looks dumb, I'm not going to do it. So if you don't see it, then it looked dumb. But, and if you're like me, you may not even watch the actual video, but more just listen to it and do a bunch of other stuff or play games on your phone or something. That's what I do when I watch videos or listen to videos. So it may not matter to you anyway, unless of course you do actually watch the actual video instead of just listening to it. So the first position is clarity, what your personal theme for 2024 will be. The second position is the horizon, what you can expect in 2024. Third position is strength, how to harness your inner power. Fourth position is sunset, what you're leaving behind in 2023. Advice, the lesson that you learned in 2023 is the 5th position. The 6th position is the obstacle or challenge you'll face in 2024. And then lastly, the 7th position is navigation, and that's guidance for the year ahead. So that's what we're going to do this time around. And all right. So this is the reading for the 3-6 or the martyr role model profile in human design. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there's a link in the description below to get your human design body graph. And your profile is one of many bits of information for you to explore. But for the purposes of these readings, we are going off of your profile. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards a few times. I'm going to cut them twice. And then we'll take the top 7 cards off of the middle pile, if that makes sense. I'm not taking jumpers this time around. If you've seen my other videos, like I said, this is a look at the year ahead, which is coming up. And we'll go over each placement as we go. So let's just shuffle with intention a few more times here. Okay. Right, 1, 2. So, your personal theme for 2024 is the 2 of Cups. Love that. I haven't even seen this card come out yet. What you can expect in 2024 is the Star card. How to harness your inner power is the Broom or Death. What you're leaving behind in 2023 is the 5 of Swords. Lesson that you learned in 2023 is the 2 of Pentacles. A challenge you'll face in 2024 is the 7 of Swords. And guidance for the year ahead is the High Priestess. Beautiful. We have 3 2s out here. If that means anything. I mean, I think 2 in numerology is knowing what you are to do because twos do talk about next steps, because obviously we start with aces, right? And that's something new, something coming in. And of course we start with the Two of Cups, and cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about things. What's our relationship to love, whether that's romantic, whether that's platonic, whether that's self-love. How do we feel about the people in our lives? How do we feel about what we're doing with our lives, right? So everything having to do with emotion. So, again, we start with the ace. The Ace of Cups is, your cup runneth over. What was I going to say? That started with an F, filling over? I don't know. Anyway. Also, interestingly enough, too, and I was going to say this while I was shuffling, and then ego, kind of got in my way. But I felt really emotional when I sat down. Even like before I knew I was going to do your reading, I just, oh my God, like I felt like I could cry. I mean, I'm a Cancer rising. And I know there's a Cancer new moon or full moon coming up on Tuesday. So, I was like, maybe I'm just in my feels, I'm emotional authority too. So I have all of emotions. But anyway, so I love that the Two of Cups came out first, because maybe you are searching for or looking for, opening your heart space for a connection in some capacity. I don't think I even finished my thought about the Ace of Cups. So let's go back to that if you're following along. I feel like that's very, kind of emotional stuff too. It's like just all over the board, you just kind of ping pong or pinball, is that what that's called, around. So the Ace of Cups, your cup is full to the point of overflowing, right? So the aces are something new, but it's also newly feeling like, you do have emotional capacity. You have emotional availability because your cup is full, because we can't pour from an empty cup. We can only for so long, because there's always, a couple little drips left in there. But eventually, if we allow it to stay in that state, it is going to dry out, and we can't pour from an empty cup. So the Ace of Cups is full. Once your cup is full, you're like, you know what? I do have the space. I do have the desire, the emotion available to share it with somebody else. And that's when we move on to the Two of Cups. Now, granted, most people see the Two of Cups as being, like a soulmate or romance card, and it certainly can be. If that's something that next year you want to put a focus on, this is positive for that. If you are in a current connection, then there is the availability to almost like reconnect, come back together, or strengthen that bond, like even go deeper, because the Two of Cups, both parties come with their own cup full. They come with their own Ace of Cups. So there's this reciprocity. There's this 50-50, like what you're giving, you're getting back, because you both can pour from full cups. Not to mention, like, you don't even necessarily need your cup to be filled. Like, you take care of yourself. You meet your own needs. You know what you need. You know what you want. You know what you would accept. You know what you give. You know what you bring to connections and partnerships. And so does the other person. Okay? So, again, Two of Cups, there is some level of connection there, whether that is romantic, whether it's platonic, or business even. And it could even be deepening that connection with yourself. and almost even like finding people who have the same desire to go deeper within themselves. So it's like, you both can support each other in that. And then we move on to the star card, which is what you can expect in 2024. And I love that. So actually, what does the Two of Cups say? Some people are like the pumpkins. Some people are like the pumpkin to your spice. Yeah. Exactly. Making the right connections too. So, the star card says, have faith that healing is in the forecast. So, again, I think we were even kind of talking about that a little bit with the Two of Cups, like whatever the Two of Cups is, whether it is a romantic relationship and whether that's new or something that you're currently in. It could be, just healing a relationship with other people or with community. The star card is about healing. So there is an opportunity, the energy is available for some level of healing where it's concerning relationship or connections. The star card is also like trusting the process. I see the star card as being that literal space between the 5D where we manifest and dream and imagine and all of the things, right? And the 3D where we are, and it's that literal space between, like bringing those two things together, pulling down our manifestations, our dreams, our desires that we are creating in the 5D, pulling those down into the 3D where we are. So this could even be like if you have been manifesting a type of relationship, a type of partnership. And again, it can be romantic, platonic, or business, right? Like I'm going to keep saying that and I say that too because I don't generally do relationship readings, and mainly because my focus is on you. And I always think of RuPaul at the end of every Drag Race episode, which I haven't watched Drag Race in a few years, but RuPaul always says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? So that's always kind of why. And also, I'm going off on a tangent, but anyway, like I said, I feel the need to keep saying that it can be romantic, platonic, or business. Obviously it would depend on your situation, what you are looking for. But if you have been manifesting, if you have been really, healing your own inner child, if you have been spending some time in doing that and you recognize that you're more clear on what would be a healthy partnership for you, this is also positive for that. And how to harness your inner power. The broom, it says, tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. I love that. This is the death card. And I love this depiction of like sweeping out energy. There's these boxes that say donation on them. So there is this kind of purge energy going on here. And whether that is just purging energy or if it's like literally purging tangible things, right? That just no longer are serving. But with the death card, I always say every new beginning disguises itself as an end, because something truly has to end in order for something new to begin. So even with it being next to the star card, and especially the star card saying on here, healing is in the forecast, it's like, because I think it's just human nature to carry around like emotional baggage, right? Whether that was from romantic relationships, whether that was from our childhood, whether it was from, a job that did us dirty or whatever, right? Like we kind of create these like armors or barriers around us. Like trust issues type of thing, or self-sabotage, like, not seeing your own worth. So with the Death card and how to harness your inner power, or being in a position of harnessing your inner power, it's literally clearing out the muck. Whether that is physical, I was going to say products. Whether that is like, clothes, furniture, whatever, like if you're holding on to keepsakes or gifts or something from a previous thing, then, it's almost like time to get rid of those things. And also even, it could be donating, selling it on Facebook Marketplace. But I truly believe that, things do have an energy when they come to us. And whenever that energy is satisfied or used, then it's kind of like, it's time to let that thing go so that it can serve its purpose for somebody else. But if we hang on to it, which I think we all just tend to do, right? I mean, we throw stuff in closets or in cabinets or whatever just because we're like, well, I don't really want to get rid of it yet. But then, comes that day, and this happened for me too, like in the summertime, late summer, where, I got rid of my couch. I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I just didn't even really want to deal with at the time. And then I had help to do so. So this could even be, the right help coming in to get you to this level of healing and to help you clear out some of this muck, just throwing that out there. But also in doing so, by getting rid of whether it is emotions, because this is attached to Scorpio. So the Death card is associated to Scorpio. So it is very watery. So it could be about your emotions and just kind of clearing out the muck that is in your emotional body. It could be things that you have an emotional attachment to, whether that is a memory or a behavior pattern or like a physical, like a shirt or whatever, a couch, right? Like whatever it is though, to harness your inner power, you got to let it go. And in doing so, you open the channel for energy to come in, because there's not this stagnant energy just hanging around now. That's been cleared out, and now there's space for new energy to come in, an energy that is available to serve you, which again is a Death card, right? Like new beginnings disguise themselves as endings. So by ending a thing, by getting rid of things, by releasing an emotional attachment to things, the energy is available, the space is available for that new energy to come in and serve its purpose. And what you're leaving behind in 2023 is the Five of Swords. It says you can't be right all the time. And the Five of Swords has to do with I almost said ego first, which I do see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to feelings, experiences, people, whether they're our stories or not, and whether they're true or not. But it also becomes the reason why we do and don't do things. And also swords have to do with our mind, because again, right, I said that we generally hear our ego in our mind. It's our thoughts, ideas. There's also a connection to honesty and divine truth, like objective truth with swords. So the Five of Swords generally talks about conflict. There's this person here. There's these two people over here. So there's this fork in the road. These two people are going either way. This person isn't even considering them. It doesn't even look like they're making a decision on which person to follow. This could be people in your life because, this lady on the left, I'm assuming it's a lady. This person on the left has grayer hair. This person on the right it looks like purple hair. So, like a younger person. So this could be an older person in your life, a parental figure, a grandparental figure. This could be another family member, sibling, cousin, something along those lines, or even a parent. Like if this is a grandparent, this is a parent. It could just be two different people in your life. It doesn't even necessarily have to be two. There's just three people depicted on this card. And the Five of Swords, like I said, there is a conflict there. There's a disagreement. There's even like a competition feeling to it, which is why it says you can't be right all the time. So, and trying to be right all the time is very ego focused, because your ego can't stand the thought of being wrong. And comes from a place of wounding, which is an opportunity to be cleared out. So whatever this Five of Swords is, and maybe it's, even just conflict within your relationship. Maybe that's caused conflict within your family dynamic, whether that's biological family or chosen family. And then we have this dog here that's just like waiting for you to make up your mind. It could even be accepting help. Like if you're like, I can do this by myself, I can figure this out by myself, this healing thing or clearing this out. It could be even partnering with a therapist. Especially like depending on where you are in that 6th line journey. You have the 3rd line on the personality or the conscious side. And you have that 6th line on the design or the unconscious side, subconscious side. So, that 6th line has that 3-tier, you could be in your first 30 years of life where you're operating as a 3-3. You could be in the 2nd period, which is being up on the roof, kinda. I don't think a 3rd line is ever fully up on the roof because it's like you always kind of have to get your hands in the cookie jar at some point. But being up on the roof is sometime after 28 and a half, depending on when your Saturn return is, all the way into your 50s. And that's a time where you start unpacking a lot of this stuff. And you start unpacking why this energy is available. This doesn't even have to be you, this person. It could be somebody else in your life where like you feel like they constantly have to have control, and that is very frustrating. But again, right, there is an opportunity for personal internal healing around this. And the lesson that you learned in 2023 is a 2 of Pentacles, and it says, when life gets chaotic, find a way to get grounded and balanced. What does this say? Secretly a Selkie? Yeah, and I think, is that a Selkie back there? And the 2 of Pentacles talks about, Pentacles have to do with our money, how we save it, how we get it, how we spend it. It's our physical time. Like, what are we putting our physical time into? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's also our physical health. What is the state of our actual bodies, right? So with the 2, it does talk about balancing. It says get grounded and balanced. It's juggling responsibilities. It's also realizing, like the constant flow and like ebb and flow of responsibilities. It's keeping a lot of plates spinning at the same time, but it's learning how to balance those things. And also because, again, right, we start with the Ace of Pentacles, which is generally a new opportunity involving income or improved health or something along those lines, something new to put your time and energy resources into. And then the Two of Pentacles is, okay, how can I either fit that into my schedule, or it's the thing that balances your schedule. Like it creates more balance in your life. So it would obviously, again, like depend on your situation. And with this being in the position of what you learned in 2023, there is an energy, like you learn to balance many different things. Maybe you found some harmony, like some balance in your health in some capacity. Maybe you even learned just how to like navigate this Five of Swords energy, because again, this is what you're leaving behind in 2023. So what you're leaving behind and the lesson that you learned from it, right? So it could even be, separating yourself in some capacity, learning the value of your own balance, learning the value of your own being in your own energy and being in your own flow with the Two of Pentacles. And the challenge that you'll face in 2024 is the Seven of Swords. It says, are your actions really as selfless as you think? Now it's interesting because the Seven of Swords talks about betrayal, trickery, thievery, manipulation. Like, I always see the Seven of Swords also as being the card of us fooling ourselves, because this is when our ego, or Brene Brown calls them gremlins, get really loud. When we are working through our woundings and like the things that we have had as part of our identity for who knows how long, and then when you start trying to dig those things up and heal them, like your ego starts fighting back because homeostasis is strong. And it's like, okay, but who are we without these things though? Like, who are we without the story? Who are we without staying small, shrinking, not being a problem, right? Well, you become a problem and you take up space. Like, that's who you are, right? If that's who you want to be, right? But it's like, it's about discovering who you are, who you want to be, who you actually want to become. But it's interesting. So this is a challenge that you'll face in 2024. So this could be in partnership. This could be whatever this Five of Swords energy is too. It's kind of like there's definitely going to be muck to be mucked through. It's also really staying tuned into your intentions, because it says, are your actions really as selfless as you think? So it's really, like why are you doing what you're doing? What are your intentions behind the things that you're doing? Are you people pleasing? Or are you sacrificing and compromising yourself and your needs and your desires because somebody else is being controlling? I feel like I mentioned controlling with the Five of Swords. Maybe I mentioned it with the Seven of Swords. I don't know. But because, the Seven of Swords, like the whole thing with it is that they sneak into the enemy's camp on the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. They sneak into their enemy's camp and they steal 7 swords. And that is to give them the upper hand. They're handicapping their enemy or who they're battling with and putting them in a position of, I was going to say authority, but like giving them the upper hand. So that's kind of where like that manipulation thing, you know, like it's calculated. So it kind of has this feeling of like weaseling out of something, or this poor spider too. Listen, I'm not like a super duper huge fan of spiders, but I try not to kill them. I also have like a million plants. So I'm like, okay, you can stick around for bugs, but once you get a little too close, and then, you know, like we kind of have a problem. And it looks so scared to me. This could even be, I mean, you could be this spider. It's interesting that I'm even focusing on the spider. I hope you don't mind me calling you a spider right now, so don't freak out. But just in the sense of like energetically and on this card, because it's interesting that I just started empathizing with the spider. And there's this person that's like got this shoe over them ready to just smush them and end them. Just like that, right? So this could be you, this could be somebody else. And with it being in a position of challenge, there could be somebody that is around you that maybe doesn't even like the self-esteem that you are finding within yourself, the confidence that you are finding in yourself. Maybe they're jealous of a relationship. You know, it's just something along those lines where they're just like, they would almost do anything to smash you. Not literally, not, you know, like literally ending you, but you know what I mean? Like just where they cannot stand to see you happy. And I'm only saying this in the capacity because this is in a challenge position. So you might come up against some resistance in some capacity from somebody else who, and maybe it is your partner, you know, I don't know. And then your guidance for the year ahead is the High Priestess. And it says, when in doubt, your first gut feeling can always be trusted. I kind of love that because, especially in relation to the Seven of Swords, because no doubt, you know before the evidence shows up, because it shows up in your intuition. So always trust that. I see the High Priestess as our direct connection to our star player. And for me, that's higher self. That's my higher self, my energetic higher self. It could be God, it could be spirit, it could be source divine. If you believe in a higher power, if you don't, then it is your direct connection with your intuition, because we all have it. I also love that there's this full moon at the top of this moon phase textile up here. And like I said, you know, we do have that Cancer full moon on Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. And that's the last full moon of the year, which I believe I heard that we started the year with a Cancer full moon or new moon, and we're ending with a Cancer full moon. So even just looking at where you were January 2023 to December 2023, I mean, you know, the High Priestess is connected to the moon. The moon is the rulership over Cancer. So I also love that they're doing tarot here. So, I mean, you could even be deepening your connection to divination tools. You could even be getting into divination tools if you haven't already. Either way, though, this looks like quite the journey. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.